Right, back again, Afo. How you doing, brother?
Hey, my brother, I'm good. It's been wedding season, bro.
It has been wedding season. We're all about to fly off in a little bit. See if you... Actually, no, to be fair, we had Prene's wedding like 2
recently.
weeks ago.
Yes, Marrakesh.
Marrakesh was a good little trip, man.
It was good. We had fun. We had a lot of fun.
And we go again.
We go again. What's happening next? What's the next one?
Obviously, we're doing mine in St. Louis. You know, it doesn't stop, man. But enough of the wedding stuff. The last episode it's kind of gone viral.
Hey, bro, I feel like we're semi famous right now. We've been popping. We've been popping a little bit, but it's been nice. We've been consistent.
Absolutely.
A lot of posts, so yeah, that's been really exciting.
Hey, it's good to have you guys back on the TSAP. So, Afo, today we have a special guest in the building.
Tell them who we got, bro.
We have a elite goalkeeper.
Yes.
We have a business owner.
Show me the money.
We have a coach.
Yes,
a mentor to the youth, an inspiring young gentleman.
Yes.
Today, guys, we have a very special guest.
Tell him.
Sam Carman. It's a pleasure to be here, by the way. It's an absolute pleasure.
Guy, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Sam. Good to have you, man.
Nice to meet you. Finally, we've been talking for quite a while in the DM, trying to make something happen, and finally, you're here. We've been able to make something happen. So we appreciate you coming all the way from Hemel Hempstead to come join us, bro.
Yeah. Mate, that's your neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm hitching, boy, but yeah.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Close enough.
No, fair enough, man. So, Sam, for the people who don't know you, let's just have like a quick introduction to who Sam Carman is.
You know, as a someone growing up, I think I've sort of had to do things on my own, most definitely. I've always had the support there, but I've always been hungry at the same time. I've always wanted to have a life where, I look back, later on down the line and I look at it and go, you know what, I've done well. Yeah. And I've been able to look after those around me and most definitely inspire people around me. I definitely want to be out of my comfort zone. I know that's where I grow the most. I want to do things that not everyone can say that they've done, and look back at it and just genuinely be happy and find peace. Be able to have a family that are proud of me as well. Yeah. That's most definitely an important thing.
That's amazing to hear. How old are you again?
19.
Hey, I love 19. Just hearing that from 19 was amazing.
Yeah, that was massive, man.
Yeah,
massive. And then tell us about, how did you get into football?
You know what? It was mainly from my brothers. I was never ever a football fan. I tell you what, I was a WWE wrestling guy.
Which one?
Rey Mysterio. That was it. Rey Mysterio. If there's any banisters, we're doing 619 all the time. So me and my brothers. That was that. My dad's a massive wrestling supporter. So. It was usually from school, to be honest, just around friends that loved football, and I just found like enjoyment from it. And then I remember my brothers obviously asking me if I wanted to go play football. They were quite into it at the time, and I wasn't really that interested. And then I got thrown in goal because I was the youngest.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Youngest in goal, they would slash the ball to me. I got to go over the road to get the ball. That's just how it is, unfortunately. Yeah. And then I just started doing it more often, and I loved it. So I just carried on with it and excelled. So,
and outside of your brothers, was your family into football at all?
No, definitely not. My mum, she's from Philippines, so over there it's more basketball, and she loves cooking. She loves her cooking, to be honest. She loves her cooking. Filipino dishes. Dad, he's into bikes, WWE. He's just. I don't really get to see my dad as often, so like they were never really into football, any sports like that, to be honest.
So you kind of like paved the way for...
Yeah, to be honest, I think I got a little bit of inspiration from my brothers, so massive shout out to them.
Well, what's the family team, football team?
Dad's a Chelsea supporter-ish. He says he's a Chelsea supporter, but no one else really supports anyone other than me. I support City, and I don't know why, miles away from City, but first game that I went to, so...
Yeah.
Wait, first game that you went to... Was it the Etihad?
Yeah, so it was against... It was quite a while back. It was against Bournemouth, so... Okay. Yeah, I don't really remember much of the game. Yeah. So I just remember Joe Hart played in it, and that was my inspiration.
Joe Hart,
that was my inspiration.
That's a throwback.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, okay, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. Not many people... when they will say they want to play football, grow up saying they want to be a goalkeeper. Right?
Yeah.
So obviously, I know your brothers threw you in there, but did you ever want to play in defense or midfield? And they were like, "Nah, get back there."
No, you know what? I always thought I was a striker because I had that build when I was younger. The pace. At the time, I had curly hair as well, so I thought I was a bit of a winger or a striker. And nothing beats being a goalkeeper for me. I love the enjoyment and the freedom. So that was it. Being able to dive around.
Freedom?
Yeah, freedom around the box. There's so much more freedom to goalkeeping than people think there is. 100%.
Do you ever get bored? 'Cause I remember watching an interview a while back with Aaron Ramsdale where he mentioned that he has to get involved with the fans a lot during the game, the away fans, just to clock back into the game. So do you ever find yourself where you just drift away and you're not... you get, oh crap, I'm actually involved right now.
Yeah, I do at points, but for me it's important just to snap back into it, because the minute you take your eye off the ball is the minute that there's going to be an attack, and you've got to be ready for it. So, and that's the way I've always looked at games. I've got to be 90 minutes concentrated plus extra time. It's as simple as that. But if there's fans there, then I'm more than involved. So and they always like to pick on like someone my height as well, and someone that's like, at the time I remember, like I said, I had curly hair. They'd pick on that, or now that I've got highlights, it'd be something that makes you stand out that they pick on. And if you can get them rattled a little bit, it's fun. It gives you a good enjoyment for 90 minutes. So,
wait, so how tall are you?
6'1".
6'1".
Yeah, 6'1".
Cool. So, give me your top 5 goalkeepers of all time. And I know you're 19, so I'm expecting you to mess up a little bit with some of the goats that should be in there. But go on, you tell me yours.
Shall I start from number 1 as being best?
Actually, I'll start from 5 down. Actually, you know what? Whichever way you want.
We'll go from number 1 because I know who my number 1 is. Okay, it's Joe Hart, 100%.
Really?
Without a doubt.
Interesting.
Without a doubt, 100%.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
wow.
There wasn't a keeper like him for me.
What do you love about his game?
You know what? It was more his agility and the way that he sprung to save the footballs. So, like, some of the shots that he faced, there would be unreal saves. And I know keepers like Ramsdale, he makes some top saves. But for me, Joe Hart, he was doing them consistently. And, he probably wasn't the best goalkeeper, but for me, he stood out just by the way he sprung to the ball. That was
interesting.
it.
I wasn't expecting that, but I respect it.
I wasn't, and I'm not sure I respect it.
There is
everyone usually says the same goalkeepers, but I can't say the same.
All right, go on. Let's hear the other ones. Let's see if you can redeem yourself.
Number 2, Manuel Neuer.
Okay.
He's different. He's different. And then I'd say, number 3. That's a good one. We'll put Ramsdale there. We'll put Ramsdale there. We'll put Ramsdale there.
I think
we'll put Ramsdale there. Yeah, we'll put Ramsdale there. But we got to look at, like, I know there's goalkeepers like Petr, Cech and stuff like that, but they're also goalkeepers that I didn't really pay attention to. So I'm just going off the ones that I've seen.
Of course.
And then, that's a bit of a weird one. You know what? This is gonna be a bit different. I'm gonna say number 4, Dmitri Kharine, my old goalkeeper coach, ex-Chelsea goalkeeper.
Okay.
Mate, you're keeping it in the family. I like that. Keeping it in a close circle. Yeah.
I think just going based off of obviously what I know and what I've seen, he was a top goalkeeper. I've seen his highlights, seen the way he moves, and there was a time where we were on the team bus and his highlights came up and it shocked me a bit. I didn't know he could move like that. So number 5, we'll put Donnarumma there because I'm a City fan.
Okay.
So a bit of a weird list. But
Afo, who's your top? Do you have a top 5? I can give you a quick top 5.
You go top 5. You think of yours.
I think I'll put Kasper Schmiechel in there.
Yep.
I'd put Buffon, Casillas. I'd probably put Cech, and then I would probably put Neuer in there.
Yeah, so I think that's a good 5. I think the only one I might chuck in there, I know you're going to complain, would be David Raya. I think at some point, this is my list, bro. This is my list. But at some point, do you know what? At some point, with the records that he's getting at the moment, with the amount of clean sheets, like the reality is that history is going to look back at the goalkeepers during this period, and he's going to be high up with the number of clean sheets he had. So I think David Raya in there. I think he gets balls in the air really well from crosses, from corners. Good shot stopper, and great with his feet. And I think the football that we play, goalkeepers now have to be good with their feet. So for me, I have David Raya as someone that's top 3 in the world right now at goalkeeping.
Oh, okay. I thought because we were talking about all time.
No, but he's gonna finish.
But how
in my top 5 all time?
If I'm looking at all time, I'm not looking at all time best. I'm looking at my all time best. So your guys might be a little bit different. I think there probably definitely is. Buffon. I definitely looking back at Buffon's probably better than Ramsdale, 100%. But is he in my list? I don't know. I don't know.
Fair enough. Bro, what type of keeper are you? Are you good on your feet? Do you like to take the ball out?
A sweeper keeper. There's a lot of tall goalkeepers. I'm not a really tall goalkeeper if we look at it. Like there's goalkeepers 6'5", 6'6". I'm quite small considering I'm a goalkeeper. So I'm sharp off my line, sharp on my feet. I can play around the back, do the long balls if I need to, and I can get low. 1v1s, I don't let anyone beat me on a 1v1. I can't. That's my rule. That's my rule. Yeah. Okay. Long shot, I'll let them have it, but 1v1, I don't let anyone beat me with a 1v1.
Near post? They don't get you on near post either?
Nah. Not letting them.
We need to get the videos up.
Not letting them.
We need to get the clips up.
So are you also like a bit of a boss of the defence as well?
You know what? Yeah, I think when I get into it as well, and when I know we can play better, 100%. As of recent as well, going for an injury, like just the hunger levels have risen. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I'm getting older, getting more mature, but I'm quite good at helping out the back line, but they already know what they're doing half of the time. So
because I always see the goalkeeper as like he's a leader, he's a captain in the team. He might not always have the armband in most teams, but they always seem to have like a real leadership kind of role within the team. And obviously you're a young keeper as well.
Yeah, has
that been hard in terms of acclimatizing to that leadership role, or you've just been up to water?
Yeah, it's just as much as many things as you can help with a team like that. That's it. I don't think everyone's a leader on the pitch, and there's captains, but everyone's a captain at the end of the day, and everyone has their different games. Like there's players in the team that are shy, and that's just how they are. But they're still a leader. They're a leader in their own ways. And for me, I was never one of them players that would scream and shout, tell effing and blinding to players. But I was a goalkeeper that would help and encourage, and that was the best I could do. So
I think also, I don't want to sound like an old man, but things have changed a little bit in terms of, I think, the way athletes. I mean, it'd be really interesting to hear your perspective on this. But like when we were coming up, it was like coaches had to scream at players, captains. We had like Roy Keanes and the Vieiras who were like,
they were very expressive. Yeah.
And it sounds like more today, like you can be a bit more relaxed and just be more supportive than.
Yeah.
Did you know what I think about, and kind of linking it to like a basketball, for example, where people talk about LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and their style of leadership, and how that maybe LeBron James is not traditional like captain or leader, or doesn't have the same hunger and same drive, but the reality is to be able to play for that length of time consistently, you must have a crazy amount of drive. So I think absolutely you are right in terms of there's so many different styles of coaching, so many different styles of leadership. I guess for you, how do you, with the way the coaches like deal with you, what kind of coach do you have? Is yours a screamer? Is he like?
You know what? He's very encouraging. I think he likes the youth. Like our team's very young. When he knows we're not up to our full potential, he will have a pop, especially in the change room. He's gone mental. But that's what gaffers are like. I think without a doubt he's one of the best gaffers I've had. Without a doubt, I think the encouragement levels and he pushes us to limits that we sometimes don't even know that we can get to ourselves, but he knows, so that's enough.
So tell us a little bit about the journey that you've been on. So from like juniors to academies to obviously playing men's.
Do you want me to take it right back to
right back to playing in the garden with your brothers?
So I started off at a local Hemel Aces. It was a year above, so I was just training with them once a week. I wasn't really playing, and then I forwarded on to my age group. Just a Sunday league, local, about 5 minutes from the house, so not too far. And then from there, we progressed into schools where we got county. I don't know if you guys had that when you guys were in school. There's county, district, breaking into that and going against goalkeepers that are in academies, and even to now, some of them are still playing in the academy. So, and then from there, I got my first real offer from Crystal Palace at a district game. So from there, that was just a massive change. I played a tournament for Crystal Palace, and it was a trial tournament, and I got put under like a 8-week trial. Like that's what usually happens with players. You get put on under a trial, and I didn't do too great. I think I was I let my nerves get to me. I just didn't play the way that I wanted to play. At the end of the trial, I remember the manager saying that, do you prefer punching the ball rather than catching it? Because like, every time I was trying to save the ball, I'd punch it. But again, it's all a learning process for me. From Palace.
So before you move on from Palace, how many goalkeepers were in the process at Palace?
At Palace,
so
I think there was two other goalkeepers, but they weren't really involved in the tournament. It was more so, let's see what I can do, and that was that. But again, there was some top players at Palace, and even some players that you look at and think they're going to be in the first team, and even now. Moving on from Palace. We went to Enfield Borough, so that was in EGA side, which is the level that you sort of wanted to be at before the academies, and you had the EGAs and JPLs, and that was in North London, so I was travelling every day. Bearing in mind my parents don't drive, so there was a lot of commitment within football. I think when I was younger as well, trying to get to these teams and trying to pay, we had like fees to pay. My parents definitely struggled. I think we're unfortunate with. Mum worked 2 jobs. Dad, I didn't get to see my dad. He was struggling with mental health, and he was in and out of the hospital. So I didn't really get to have that connection with him. Mum tried to do her best, but I'd even say my whole family tried their best. I just knew that I was unfortunate, and it is what it is. I've got to find different ways, and I've always found different ways. And then going into Enfield Borough, I remember us winning. The season undefeated. I think it was 38 games. Wow. Yeah, I think that season only conceded 5 throughout that season. So that was a big
young David Raya.
Yeah, no, that was a big confidence booster for me, because I've never ever played EGA before that. So but the levels, even then, the levels there were unreal. And then that's when the Exeter opportunity came. We got an opportunity from Exeter after a friendly. We played them. We went down to Exeter, which was a journey, a very long journey. Took a whole day there and back. Right. I think we ended that game 1-1, and I received a call a couple of days at school. I remember I was in computer science, and I received a call from the manager who quickly under the table just tried to talk to him whilst the teacher's gone. I remember it because I remember saying to my mate, I've just been offered a trial at Exeter.
That's mad.
And they've sent me a message saying, look, you're going to come down and play Oxford. So went down and played at Oxford. Completely different style, something I was not used to. The tempo, the movement, and even how the boys, this is the thing, I think I was in year 8 or year 9 at the time. The boys were coming in LV bags and watches and stuff like that, and I was just like, I was just used to coming in a nice tracksuit, just a little tracksuit, something subtle.
Is that League 2? So are they League 2?
I think so. Yeah,
I think now they're League 2.
Yeah.
League 2 back then?
No, League 1.
League 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the time, that's what the academy players were like, and I wasn't used to that. And you know what? That can throw you off so much if you think about it too much, because. For me, when I went into it, I was like, okay, well, I'm just a local lad from Hemel. What separates me from these guys? And unfortunately, that's the way I thought about sometimes when I was younger, and I went into trials. And that game, I think we ended up losing. I was meant to stay at Exeter, and then the staff got sacked. So that just didn't fall through at all. So I went back to Enfield, got my first team opportunity, got my first team call up at 16. Which was a massive step as well, playing against grown adults. Again, still something completely different to me. I enjoyed that game though. I really enjoyed it. It was a massive challenge. But I think the following 2 weeks after, we played Rising Ballers, which are well known now.
Yeah.
And then we played Bedfront Sports, which are quite. I think they're near. Where is it? Like Gatwick area? I'm not somewhere around there. So I was down at Enfield for a bit, and then from Enfield, I ended up getting an opportunity, a random call on just a random day. I remember I was chilling in bed again, and it was from a local setup nearby me, and there was different branches in different areas, and they said that MK Dons wanted me to come down. So I remember, this is at the point I was in year 11, so I was, transitioning to figure out if I wanted to get my scholarship or not, and that's what I was really chasing.
Right. Just got a question. While you were doing all this through school, like, were you actually doing much schoolwork at the time, or was it
just playing?
Right?
No, I wasn't the naughtiest kid at school. I think I kept my head down at points. Sometimes definitely got in the wrong crowd, but I just wanted to play football. I didn't really care about anything else, to be honest. I didn't really care about anything else. Not saying I didn't study, because I did, but I definitely trained a little bit more than I studied.
Fair.
And that's just how it was. Yeah. And then MK Dons was a bit of an experience. I remember going into that trial injured. I tore my ligament in my ankle. I think it was in a training session beforehand. And I'm sat there talking to the manager, and I'm saying, I'm perfect. I'm coming in. Don't worry, I'll be there. And I got my ankle strapped up, and it was just one of them ones where I strapped it up and act like it never happened. And then I was on trial there for a bit too long. I ended up staying there, was offered a schoolboy, which isn't a scholarship, so you get to learn there, but you don't get obviously funds and everything like that. Yeah. And you play in the different side. I think you play more of the college programs, like the PDAs and stuff like that. After that,
how many days a week are you training with that?
I think it was 3 times a week, and then with the scholarship it was full time. Okay. So in year 11, because we were still in school, it's 3 times a week. You'd play on a Saturday, Sunday, and then the schoolboy was every day. So you had to commit to it and do your college work as well.
Did you at that time? Did you feel as if there was a real opportunity to make the jump up, or did it feel as if you were just in a cycle of you're not going to get bumped up?
I always knew there was something. Like, either way, if the opportunity wasn't there at the moment, I always had faith that there would be an opportunity. So I didn't care what it was, I was going to take it. Yeah. With MK Dons, I just sort of let things happen, and I knew that they would happen at the right time, and if they're meant to. And that's still the same way that I think right now. If I don't have something, it means that I'm not ready for it. So that's what I thought at the time. Yeah. And saying that, it's funny, because I got an opportunity from Hemel. I think a couple of weeks later, to go and play a trial match for the first team, and I was I'm local, I'm Hemel. So I knew a lot about Hemel, their National League Step 2, and that was where my journey really began. It was an opportunity. When I was a kid, I used to say to my dad, I'm going to go play for Hemel Town. I think that my dad definitely remembers them times. So and I always say I think people's perspective on going to play, like academy football and going to play for the big Premier League teams, compared to what I wanted when I was a kid. I wanted to settle down and just be somewhere where I knew I was going to be happy and enjoying my football, and look back at it and go, okay, I play for my hometown. Like, for me, representing my hometown is enough. And I know people like the fame and playing for the big Premier League clubs, but my different that was my different of fame. I wanted something completely different.
So what would you say is the biggest difference between the academy setup and being a part of a semi-pro team?
The difference is the academy boys. They're very sharp on the ball. They move the ball quickly. They're fast. They're agile. I think it's less. There's not so much discipline with the academy boys compared to when you go in a first team environment. Everyone's harsh. The older players are right up your backs if you're a youngster, trying to help you, but sometimes if you lose the ball, you're getting grilled by the team. And it was a little bit more professional, because a lot of the lads that were in the semi-pro teams were actually ex-pros. So there was a different sort of energy. You couldn't get along with, not saying you can't, but you couldn't get along with some of the lads in the first team than you could in the academy. The academy boys were in and around your age, 16, 17, 18. The first team lads there's like 32-year-old, and I'm 18, 19. I'm talking about school, and they're talking about a house and kids and marriage and stuff. I have no clue what's going on. So I think you could be yourself a little bit more in the academy side, because 16, 17, 18 people that are in and around your age know what's going on.
And I also feel like in the academy setup, like, all the senior boys have kind of gone through the academy process as well. So they understand like, oh, okay, this is the steps. While, like, as you said, you're playing with like men who obviously like doing the everyday kind of thing as well as playing football. So I can imagine there is a little bit more of a.
But what I would say is, is a little bit different though. And you tell me if it's any different. But being a goalkeeper, of course, you don't really train with the first team per se, like because you have like attack and defense kind of like doing their own thing, and then goalkeepers doing their own training as well. So did you feel as if, I guess, kind of trying to get integrated into the team? Did you feel as if you weren't given the opportunity to be a part of the team?
Not as such. Okay. Not as such. I had two older goalkeepers. Massive shout out to them. I think they made me gel with the team so much. Shout their names out, bro. So it was Craig King and James Taylor. He's actually at Newcastle now. So nice. He signed for Newcastle, and he's a Hemel boy. So it was them two, and I think I looked up to them quite a lot. But they welcomed me into the team 100%. You know, and you do get them little moments, and that's where we look at team bonding as well. So and you might not be working with them on the pitch, but you'll definitely be staying in the clubhouse till 6 o'clock. Otherwise, you're getting fined. It's either that or
what kind of fines are they giving out to a 16, 17-year-old?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say so. No, there's the usual ones, turning up late. Not having sliders in the shower, that's a big fine.
If you're not wearing sliders,
you can't just have your janky.
You can't bareback. Okay,
but there are some weird ones. I'm just thinking about it. There were some really weird ones back then. What were some of them actually? I think there was like the snus, leaving snus on the floor. People just throwing snus on the floor.
Yeah, you sports guys love snus, man.
Obviously, because they're athletes, right? So they're not drinking or doing all
they are drinking, but they need some sort of little buzz.
Yeah,
you always see it now. Yeah. You always see it.
It's crazy. I feel like that stuff's crazy, man, because I see people do it, and I'm like, bro. Firstly, you can tell because they've got like a lit. And then I've seen them have like 4.
Yeah, them man
rotating them as well, taking them out, putting a new one in. Yeah, I've seen that as well. To be honest.
Fair.
But bro.
So after Hemel Hempstead, what was the next jump?
Yeah, this is where my career really set off. I think this is from that moment on, I knew what I wanted to do, and that was that. Nothing else was in sight. From Hemel Town, I trained with the first team. After the week trial, I ended up signing a scholarship over there. 1 out of, I believe, 8 to sign the scholarship in the college academy program. That was an experience. It was full time. Play on a Wednesday, play on a Friday.
Are you getting paid at that point?
Yeah, I was getting paid. I was getting paid at the time. So one of the 8 people that was getting paid at the time. Nice. And the 8 players were in and around the first team as well. And there was different groups, and you'd play other like college programs or even academies like Woodstone, Slough. So there was some big academies in there. I remember then getting invited into first team training after the first team goalkeeper coach obviously trained with me at the academy, and that was an experience. I remember first time going in there not having a clue what I was doing. So I was volleying the ball and I was just dropping it left, right, centre, and I was getting screamed at. And I'm there like, to be fair, I used to shy out of matches as well. The smalls, I think it was like 11v11 close goals and big goals. I used to shy out of them when I was 16. I hated it.
What do you say shy? What do you mean by shy out?
Like, because I wasn't confident when I was going into the first team. It was a new environment, so I wasn't used to it. I would be like, I just need a couple more minutes stretching, or I'd say I'm feeling a little niggle in my my knee. That would be that. But I do the goalkeeper training and do little parts, do the set pieces, the shooting. But them games were just different. That was when the intensity. I looked at the intensity and I thought, this is going to be a journey for me. It's 1-2 touch, playing around corners, flick on, stuff like that. Things that you don't see in academies. Getting barged off the ball. I think there's multiple times, even your shirt being pulled, people stamping on your feet, and they do that in training and sometimes as well. So yeah.
On that front, do you think? We'll come back to the story obviously. Yeah. But do you think that keepers get too much protection?
Yes, at points, but I feel like we need it at some points. I definitely feel like we need it. There's a lot of things that the referee doesn't see that we feel and that we see. So at any point that he thinks there's anything going on or he sees anything, he's got to call it, because especially the rule that we've had now, is it like 5 seconds with the ball? 8 seconds.
8 seconds. Yeah, 8 seconds with the ball. Yeah.
by the time the last couple of games I picked the ball up, the referees started counting.
Are they calling that for you guys as well? Like,
yeah. But the worst thing is he's not even calling it down, so I've got to look at his fingers. So I'm looking at his fingers like this, and he's miles away. And it rushes us.
And do you get players that are like trying to get in front of you?
You know what? In first team football, you get that all the time. Like people grabbing your glove straps, your shirt.
And you have no VAR as well.
Yeah, even your hair. I've had my hair pulled in a game. It's crazy.
Oh wow!
So that's just how
I'm intrigued. So something that's happening a lot, especially at corners, and they always criticise Arsenal. Being an Arsenal fan, so I'm talking about Arsenal.
Yeah,
they always criticise Arsenal for doing this. Corner. Yeah, obviously, like we love our corners. We score the most corners in Europe at the moment.
Yeah,
but they always say that one thing that Arsenal do, they kind of like stand around the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So for you as a goalkeeper, do you find that annoying? Does that irritate you, or are you able to kind of just ignore that and just focus on the ball?
What I realise is that they normally put the biggest player on the goalkeeper. Especially me, I'm 6'1", but I'm not really tall compared to some of the strikers that you play nowadays. They're really tall. So them standing in front of you, 1 blocks the vision and 2 blocks your space, and that's the 2 things that you need as a goalkeeper when you're taking a cross. Usually, a lot of the goalkeepers will just drag a defender and put him in between, so you can push against him and you won't commit a foul. That usually works, but it's a pain. I hate it.
Do you have any things that you do, like obviously like from a corner where someone's coming and you give them a little like? Is there anything that you do?
You know what? It's normally just staying strong, focusing on being able to take the ball, because the minute I take my eye off the ball is going to be the minute it just whips into the back of the net. So as long as I can hold my ground, and I make sure I do the right prep for it as well, so and just stick to that. That's it.
Have you ever been caught where like they've taken a corner?
All the time.
And it goes in, like just goes. Yeah. You miss it
all the time. It happens. It's been happening more frequently with this weather as well. But I'd say not as such in matches. Sorry, more in training. In match days, there's been a few probably later down the line. But you know, we set ourselves up to avoid crosses coming in. And you know, and the way that we play right now, I'm not going to talk too much about it, just in case anyone's watching from the other teams. But the way that we play right now is, you know, try and keep the ball in their half. So that's the majority, and try and pass it around rather than hoofing it long. If you're going to hoof it long the whole game, more than likely it's going to come back to you. You're going to get given corners, and you know you're going to concede corners. Whereas you keep the ball, move the ball around. You know, you're going to have possession the whole game, and you'll be fine.
So yeah, sorry, back to the story about like obviously the football career though.
Yeah, so moving from staying at Hemel, I think that first year I really struggled as a player. I was 16 at the time, and that was my first real taste of like going through mental health. And it was a weird process for me as well. See, I got my scholarship, but it felt like I had like everything holding me down. I had to live up to the standards. I had to make sure everything was perfect, and I just wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to a schedule as such. You know, and we look back when I was younger as well with my family. My mum worked 2 jobs, and you know, she was never really there to feed us because she had to work. Dad wasn't really around, so it was my brothers. No real schedule. No, you know, going to bed early, making sure you can't watch this movie, and you got to eat this and that, and be ready downstairs for dinner. And that led to when I was 16, and I couldn't deal with the struggle. Like I couldn't deal with like the whole schedule. So I struggled so much with my anxiety and just being really nervous of playing in front of fans, and being really nervous, like trying to impress these older players, these pros, and trying to impress the manager as well. You know, I then sort of like kept myself to myself. There was a really long period where I ended up staying indoors and not going to training at all. I used to message the manager just saying like, I'm not available today. And that was my real taste of like struggling, to be honest.
What did the manager say to you? Did they know you were going through something at the time?
No, I wasn't brave enough to tell him at the time. I didn't even know myself what was going on.
Right.
I just couldn't bring myself out to play on the pitch. And you know, I sort of just managed to get out of it. I don't remember really how I did. I think I just again put one foot in front of the other and got myself out and continued training. I think at that point as well, my parents were splitting up. You know, I had other things going on in the background. And it was a completely different like sort of change for me. And I remember speaking to the goalkeeper coach, but I didn't want him to tell the manager. I didn't want him to say anything to anyone. So it just came between us two. And for me, that allowed me to get out my door and go and train. Because if he knew, then that was enough for me. And I knew he would protect me from whatever else was going on. So that was that. We had the conversation over the phone. And it took me a whole year from training with the first team to actually make my first appearance. And in the second season, my first appearance came out when I was 17. I was 17. I made my debut against Barnet in a Spencer McCall trophy. There's some players on there. Play for Barnet.
That's your local, yeah?
Our local, yeah.
There's some players that have pushed on. Jermaine Francis, he played in that. He was a big player. There was Laurie Walker as well, which has pushed on and played at, I think, Solihull Moors.
Okay.
So again, I was quite like surprised to the fact that I was playing with players like that, and I was only 17. But at the time, I grew on confidence and started to grow into training and started enjoying it a little bit more and not taking it so seriously, getting to know the lads. And there was more academy boys coming into the system through the academy system. I started to see it a little bit more clearer. And I absolutely loved that 25 minutes that I got. I remember my GK coach at the time saying, "You're not going to come on today," and then I get brought on, and I got my family there ready to watch me come and play. I know my mum first game my mum came to. I
guess being a goalkeeper now, so there's normally 3 goalkeepers in the first team.
Yeah.
So for you, when you're, let's say you're on the bench now, are you hoping that the keeper makes has a outlet, makes a mistake, so you get the opportunity?
You know what? In some sense, I want us to win, but there's always that little bit in the back of my mind saying, "Oh, come on, like let the ball go over your foot or drop it out of your hands." It's 100% all the time.
What's been your biggest howler in football, where you look back at it and you just like, "Oh man, I can't believe I've done that"?
You know what? It was in the FA Youth Cup. You know about the FA Youth Cup? Taken a cross and I've caught it, dropped it right on my feet, and he's tapped it in. And after that, it just kept going downhill. It was like, I remember coming out for a 1v1, I missed the ball and he's got an open goal and we ended up getting knocked out of that. I remember getting taken off at half time in that game as well.
They hooked you half time.
Yeah. So
there's enough of that.
I remember I was so mad. I went into the changing room, I started tearing up, and I was like, that's it, that's my football done. And I was only a young kid, so
sorry to interrupt. Go on. I just think that there's 2 positions in football which is so much about like confidence and momentum. One of them is obviously being a striker. Second is goalkeeper. I feel like when a goalkeeper gets in a bit of a funk, or like he's made one mistake and like it can even go.
You see it now. You see it,
It's like those are the 2 positions where it's so important to be in the right headspace.
I guess, how do you get back into, for you, how do you get your head back in it? When, let's say, one game you've had a bit of a mare, second game is a bit of a mare, like how do you get yourself back in a flow?
A goldfish memory. That's it. 5 seconds memory. That's it.
Do you feel like you've always had that, or you had to train that?
Definitely had to train it when I was younger. Now it's 5-second memory. For me, I can't hold on to things that I've done in the past because you can't change them. So I know that. And you know what? I don't look at the mistakes as something really bad. I look at it as now that I can improve on it. And that's something I have to go extra hard on in training. And as simple as that. Like when I was younger, 100%, it definitely was a massive transition trying to get into the next game with confidence. But now it's okay. So
no, I love that. So I want to ask about initiations. Because again, even though so do we have another part of the journey? So let's go to that. Let's finish on that, and then it will go back to initiations. It'll be good to kind of hear a bit about that.
I was at Hemel at the time. Made my first appearance against Barnet. At the time, we were in the second year of the Youth Cup. We took Sheffield Wednesday to penalties in, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th round, something like that. It's quite a while ago. We played at Hillsborough. Unreal surface. My proper first taste of a stadium as well. We got knocked out, and it was just back to first team football. Again, found myself on the bench in the FA Cup. One against Yeovil, Maidstone. And I never really got to play like massive minutes in football for Hemel, but you know, it was still an experience being able to go on the bench and, you know, be around the team. And you know, I still picked up in the 3 years I was there 15, 14 appearances. So you know, that was that. After that year, I was looking to be number 2. Assuming I was there for 2 years. I grew up from the academy. I was coaching the youth side as well, and I knew Hemel Town inside out. I was a local lad, so I was looking to be number 2. At the time, I didn't have my first team men's contract. I was still on my scholarship, and when I came back off pre-season, I ended up signing it, which was like a massive step for me. That's something I worked really hard from my scholarship, because it was always in the back of my mind to sign that deal. And you know, I always said to my parents that I was going to sign it, and that was my real like taste of professional football. And then you started seeing different things. You started to be treated like a first team player. Now you got your name on the back of the shirt as well. You know, and I found myself playing pre-season games. You know, we played one against Bracknell. I played in that. We played Reading, the academy side. We played Brighton, which I managed to save last-minute penalty, and we won 1-0. And then the St Albans game was another real taste for me. You know, being able to save a penalty in front of 5,000 people. You know, and I had 2,000 or 3,000 people behind the goal, and I was a young kid, and I was getting bullied by the fans, but you know, I loved it. That was my confidence at its highest. You know, I still went into them games nervous, but you know, I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder then, so I knew I could do something magical.
I love that, bro. So something just came to my mind. I always think about when they talk about like how much footballers get paid, especially at the highest level. Again, I feel like everyone assumes all the footballers get 100k, 200k. So you don't have to kind of say what you've made through the years, but can you give, like, I guess people that are going to listen, an idea of how much money people are making at semi-pro level, how much they're making at like scholar level, like that kind of thing?
So scholar level, you get like enough to get to the ground expenses. You get a little bit of money here, but quite low.
Probably around a couple hundred.
100. We'll say depending on what club, but 100, 300, 400, something like that. In between there.
So is that a week or a month?
So it's per game.
Oh, per game.
Per game. So mine was per game anyway. So everyone's a bit different. You know, the higher end academies, definitely Premier League would be getting like a couple thousand. I know a lad that's on a couple thousand that was in a scholarship. So, but then they're at the top end. And then through like semi-pro, it really like varies. It does vary. You know, there's lads at step 5 that are on $1,000, and then there's people in step 4 that are on 300. So it really just does vary. It depends how important you are to the club, 2, how long you've been there, how many appearances you've made, and sort of what you can provide for the club. And if you're scoring goals week in, week out, you're going to be on a lot of money. So, you know, I can't really give you an estimate on that really, because it just fluctuates. For me, you know, I've had, you know, different amounts, not as such so much when I was on a scholarship. Now when you get into the first team, obviously you're looking at it like a part-time job. It's a part-time job now, so enough to cover yourself. Definitely enough to cover yourself. Petrol, insurance, things that you got to pay for. So that's all I can really say. I can't really say too much about pays, and I don't really know on other footballers. I don't really ask them, to be honest, because it's not.
No, that makes sense, man. That makes sense.
And then, bro, when did you start coaching?
So my coaching, I started when I was 16. I was at Hemel. I created a little company called Elite X Training. Just doing programs, trying to help as many people out as I could, using my TikTok platform. And it excelled. I started doing one-to-ones, and then my first one-to-one was actually a fan at Hemel Town. It was a fan. Big massive shout out to him as well, because he's still with me now, and he's a proper goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper.
Nice.
Hard worker as well, proper grafter. So you know, it started from there, and I always wanted to create something like that, because I always believed that everyone has a purpose, and I didn't know what my purpose was, and I didn't want it just to be, you know, he plays football. I wanted to actually help out people that needed it, because especially now, when I was younger, I used to struggle a lot with, you know, like I say, mental health, and you get it a lot of the time now, with players coming out and saying that they struggled. And I had a lot of young lads come to me. I started getting recommended, and then I started to create a profile. I started to get sponsors, you know, helping me out. And then it went into a clothing brand. And then, you know, we built up, I think it was around 20, 30 clients, and then all the way up till 50. And then it fluctuates from there, really. And amazing. I deal with it all myself. So it's all the
businessman, you know, at 19. That's
it's all the messages, but I don't look at it in that way. I do it as much as I can, but you know, for me, it was more around just helping the kids out, and that's it. And the kids were all local kids, Hemel kids. So, you know,
yeah, man. You obviously at the beginning. I remember at the beginning of the interview, you were saying like, yeah, just, you know, being a support for your family and like looking after them, and obviously your mum as well, and all the things that she's done for you. She must be super proud of what you've achieved now. Yeah,
I think she doesn't really get to say it as much, but normally her way as a Filipino lady, she's her love sign is actually making us food or like cleaning our beds or something. I'll be honest. So you got to know. I'm gonna be so honest. That's her love sign for us. Normally it's after a long day of coaching. It's what do you want for dinner? I'll make it, and she makes it, and it's ready for us. So, you know, that's enough for me. I don't need to hear.
What's a special dish?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Chicken adobo. It's chicken, potatoes, and it's this nice sauce. I don't know what it is, and then rice. It's a usual one for my mum that she makes, and that's it. That's enough for me to go.
I must try that one time.
So, any good Filipino restaurants?
Yeah, there's quite a lot. It's more Chinese and Thailand, to be honest. A lot of they share sort of the same food, so it's all, you know. Again, I always look at it as healthy food, so you know.
Because you know what, this is kind of crazy. It's a little bit off topic, but in Camden, there's this Filipino family that run a Nigerian Caribbean mix.
Oh, what?
It's called Moi Moi.
Never been.
Never done that.
It's wild. It's like you go in there and there's just like these Filipinos guys behind the bar, but they're serving like, and it's good.
Are they in the kitchen as well?
Yeah. They're in the kitchen.
Mad.
They're in the kitchen as well. Right?
I didn't want making jollof rice.
Yeah, jollof rice. They're making rice and peas, plantain, everything.
Jack chicken.
So
mad.
Filipinos have a little bit of skill when it comes.
That's what it sounded like.
100%. Mum makes some dishes that like I don't know how she does it. I'm normally the standard. Okay, I'll make it like a spaghetti, but she pulls up. And you know what the crazy thing is, the Filipino parties as well.
Oh, yeah?
Filipino parties. I only turn up for the food. I'm only turning up for the food. Everyone loves it. Like, you know what? Even when I went out to Philippines, like their usual is like a pig, like a full pig, and it's like it just ranges to different foods. But you know, I can't complain. I like my Filipino food, so and Mum does a good job at making them. So,
who's the best footballer to come out of the Philippines? Anyone that comes to mind?
No.
You? Right now?
I'm not allowed to say anything yet. You know, there's been conversations. There has been a conversation with my agent. So there's been a conversation, and I'm going there over in December to celebrate my birthday and New Year's. So, you know, there might be a little bit of a chat over there. We'll see.
Conversations. Okay.
Man,
that's big. That's exciting.
That's huge, man. So tell me about because since we're on the topic of Filipino, tell me about some Filipino sporting heroes.
You know what? The only one that I can come to mind is Manny Pacquiao.
Oh yeah.
He was the one I thought you were there.
That's the only one that I can actually think of. You know, I don't really follow boxing too much, but everyone knows Manny Pacquiao. And he does well at representing Philippines. So, you know, massive shout out to him as well. I remember watching, I think it was Floyd Mayweather. Manny Pacquiao. That was the fight that I watched, and that's how I knew about him. Other than that, there's not really much, to be honest. I know I'm still sort of learning and educating on Philippines. So
you got to put them on the map now, man.
That's what it's saying.
National team, man.
We'll see. I have it on my glove, so you know everyone will know that I'm a Filipino, and I have it on my wrist as well. So carry it with me wherever I go.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's huge. So, bro, you know, obviously we touched on quite a few different bits there. And I think I just want to highlight a little bit, like, hopefully when this goes out and people are seeing this, it like encourages them to talk, because you mentioned a little bit about the mental health challenges that you had when you were coming up, and I feel like in this age where we have our mobile phones and everybody's a critic, everyone wants to comment on social media, and these kids that are trying to make it in football, hopefully they can listen to this and be like, yo, you know what, Sam had the same issue, but he spoke to his coach and he helped him through it, and now he's runs his own business, plays week in, week out. Like, I think it's a very kind of inspiring story.
Massively.
You know what? It's for anyone that is actually watching out there, you know, they're going to go through different scenarios in life. Even for me, as I've started to get older and more recently, I think, again, this is like a massive topic that I definitely wanted to talk about, and it would be a really good story for anyone out there that is listening. You know, I was, I'm 19 now, and, you know, at points, you know, you'll go through, like what I said, I had anxiety, really bad anxiety, and it doesn't fully go, but you sort of have to encourage yourself to take one step at a time. And even now, as of recent, I dislocated my knee, and I was out for 6-7 weeks, and I'm getting to that age now where I'm like, I need to get myself back into that level of step 2, step 3, in and around there. You know, looking back at like Hemel and being able to, you know, do the penalty save against St Albans and playing on TV and FA Cup and everything. Looking back at that, and then moving over to Hitchin, which is a local, and then going to like Chipstead, Baldock, Bedford as well, step 3 clubs, step 2 clubs as well. Looking back at that, I wasn't happy with the fact that I was injured. I was mad at myself. And, you know, we played Crystal Palace in pre-season and that happened. And then I wasn't happy with the progress that I was making. So that just, I dwelled on that so much. And then, you know, I had at the time, a relationship breakup after 3 or 4 years, which obviously like tore me apart a little bit. I think because my parents, and I never would ever blame my parents, but because they didn't really understand it that much, they wasn't there as much as they could have been. Again, I don't blame them. I think I've got the best parents in the world, so in a way, she and my mates were my support. And I needed them as close to me as I could. And when I
shout out your boys over there.
Massive shout out to my mates. You know, they've been there from day one when I was at school. So they've been there, part of the process. Not just them two, but back at home as well. They obviously know who they are. So and going through that, and then also you know, having, and it's going to take a little bit of a turn, but obviously having suicidal thoughts and figuring out that I actually had OCD, which drove me crazy for months upon months, to the fact that I had that and I couldn't move out of bed. I had a dislocated knee. I was in a knee brace and I couldn't walk. And I don't know if you guys know so much about OCD. A lot of people would, you know, suspect it as like cleaning, right? Would that be your concept? So it can be, and you know, there's probably a lot of footballers out there that may have it and they have no clue about it. And for me, it was everything that had to be repetitive. Things would drive me crazy. It would like almost threaten everything that I worked for, like my achievements and my goals and stuff like that. And it would almost want to take it away from me, but it's like another voice telling me that it's going to take away from me. And I was going through that whilst obviously my knee injury. That's something I spoke with Dad about. Dad had it as well, so it runs, you know, you're born with it. And so Mum also has it as well, so I managed to sort of figure out where I got it from. And then we started to process into like therapy sessions, and I think as of the last 2 months, again, this is a massive step for me to come out here and be able to speak to you two about it, and be able to come on an amazing podcast and be able to share my journey, because that 2 months ago I would have not done this. And for me, being able to just get out of bed, go out on a walk, because I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't leave the house. I was scared to, and I had an injury at the time, and you know, I was scared to sort of get myself back out there after you know, splitting up with my girlfriend at the time. So I lost all connections, and I just kept myself to myself. No one knew about it until I had like a really bad anxiety attack. And my brother saw, and that was the first time that I cried to my brother. And this whole time I'm still going through football, and no one knows about football. No one knows it about coaching. You know, they suspect, but I look at it as I'll go for an hour, and if I can help them and enjoy their time, and they look at me and go, I can't wait for a session with Sam. I can't wait for that hour. If that means they get that, then I would put my whole body and my life on the line for that, because I feed off the fact that they enjoy the sessions, that they improve it. And I have kids from 6, 7 years old, and for me, they need them sessions more than I need my problems. So I shift it to the side. That's amazing,
bro. That's amazing.
And yeah, obviously that happened. Fast forward to now. Again, I just managed to get myself out there. I put one foot in front of the other. I started. Mum's a big believer in God, so she helped me with it. I started trusting in God a little bit more.
I see the cross.
Started trusting in Him, spending a little bit more time with Him, spending a little bit more time with myself as well, and trying to figure me out and, you know, understand what's going on, because I lost almost everything from my OCD. Everything, like from going from Hemel Town back to the anxiety, because anxiety leads to OCD, OCD leads to anxiety. So it was all being fed off OCD, which I found out later on. I almost lost everything from it. And I mean, you know, we look back at relationships, friendships, you know, my career at football. I was scared to go and, you know, go and push myself. I was released from clubs for not being at training because I was scared to go training. It was almost like another voice in my head saying that I wasn't gonna make it, or I was gonna mess up this and that, or something dangerous would happen. And I started, you know, just taking care of myself a little bit more, doing therapy, and, you know, now I'm back coaching, now I'm back playing. I've got my boys around me, so, you know, and my family around me, which is amazing. At the time, you know, we weren't born into a family that was, you know, like had that emotional feeling. Like we couldn't hug each other, we couldn't tell each other that we love each other, which is absolutely crazy, because families are like that. But you know, now that I have that now, because I speak to my brothers and we have that connection. But back then it was very tough, and it does lead to now, and a lot of kids probably will go through it, where they probably have that feeling and that relationship with their families. You know, I definitely wasn't brought up in the sense of, we look at it, you say business owner, you could say footballer, but to me, I'm just a kid from Hemel, and I'm just a kid from Hemel, and I was brought up no greater than anyone else. You know, I had, you know, goalkeeper, for example, goalkeeper gloves. My friend used to have to pay for them. My boots, we couldn't pay for the fees. I was a kid at the ice cream van that couldn't pay for an ice cream. Parents working their ass, well, dad working, not being able to work, but mum being able to work her ass off in the hospital. So, you know,
shout out to mum, man.
Yeah, I was no different to any other kid. I just wanted to play football, and that was my journey. That was my story. And we look to now, and, you know,
you're still 19. It's crazy, man.
You got so spring
much
chicken,
more,
you know.
Yeah, so much more to do as well, man. That's incredible.
So much more to come, man.
So, bro, tell us what's in the near future. What's new for Sam? What's the goal? What's happening next?
You know what? It's just taking things slowly, finding peace. That's it. That's it. Whatever's meant to whatever's meant to be for me will come towards me, and whatever's not meant to be will you know, distance itself. I'm not going to chase after anything. I'm going to let it come to me, and if it's meant to be, it will be there. And I know I would have worked hard for the opportunity. You know, with my consistency, I'm in the gym twice. On the pitch once, and in the gym once, and doing my stretching, recovery, doing my work, doing my coaching. You know, up early now, having a routine. If it's meant to be for me, it will be there. So, and I'll be ready for it.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. So I've got two more questions around superstitions and initiations.
Yeah.
So do you have...
He's been coming back to these initiations.
I want to know. I need to know. So let's start with superstitions. So is there anything that you have to do before a game?
Yeah, you know what? We'll look back at the OCD thing, right?
Okay.
This is I laugh at it now because it was like I look back at it and it makes me smile a lot, because it was like, what the heck? I don't believe in it. But are we going to talk about now or a past superstition, because things have changed now?
So let's say back then. Back then, well.
You know what? It was always I had to see 2 magpies before I go and play.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 magpies to me was good luck. So it was that.
In person?
What, in the field, in the wild?
Yeah, in the field. Yeah, in the mornings. Wake up early, try to see two magpies.
Where you going? I'm going outside to see some magpies.
You know what? It's my dad that put me on that superstition. He said, if you see two, it's good luck. If you see one, it's bad luck. Don't play. So it was that. And, you know, it was always having clean boots, clean gloves. Everything had to be clean before my game. I had to have a fresh kit. I had to make sure I was up early. Ice bath routine.
Ice bath?
Yeah, ice bath all the time before for a match. I still carry that with me now. But it was just making sure I was prepared. Only one I can think about when I was younger is the two magpies. That was it. That's it.
Man, I've never heard. That's interesting, though.
Yeah.
Not even a Newcastle fan. Fair enough.
As of now, my routine now is I have to have a bag of Haribos and a Red Bull before a game. Have to. No doubt, Star Mix.
What, even like an early 11 a.m. game?
Yeah, that or even a 7:45 kickoff and I crash out at about 11, 12 o'clock. I'm up all night. That and you can call it a superstition or not. I usually touch the ground and pray before. I think that's something I'll always stick with me now. There's that. Still have a clean kit, clean boots. Always clean my gloves and boots before match day. But it's mainly the Red Bull and the Haribos for me. It's mainly that.
That's interesting. And of course, the other one I'm asking about, the initiations.
Yes.
So through the years, again, obviously you've been over through the academy setup, you've been through semi-pro, first team, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What stuff have you had to do, and is there their go-to song you have to sing sometimes? Yeah.
So. My initiation was only one song, and it was the only song I could sing. It was All of Me, John Legend. And there was one at Hemel.
Give us a little.
No, absolutely not. So I was on the team bus after a win at Kings Lynn.
Okay.
I remember I was 16, 17. Oh no, 17 at the time. And I'm seeing all these players, and they've got it on the big speaker as well. And they say, well, you're not allowed to use the mic, so you've got to just talk into the phone or something. And I closed my eyes and just gave it my all. I gave it my all.
You got romantic with us.
And they recorded the video, and I have that on my phone. I've never watched it in my life.
Hey, let's drop it when we post it on TikTok.
That will be the time. I'll give you the video then. I probably still won't watch it. As of recent, AFC Dunstable, All of Me again. I was late. 5 minutes late. So they said initiation.
Close your eyes again.
No, this time I was a little bit more confident. Okay. Yeah, I started moving around the changing room. So
put on a show.
Yeah.
What's your go-to? Jeremy loves the song.
Yeah, I love a bit of a sing song.
He loves a bit of a sing song.
What are my go-tos? It used to be, before he got cancelled, it used to be an R. Kelly.
Which one?
My mind's telling me no. I like that one because people jump in.
Yeah.
And you want a song where the rest of the crowd jumps in. Because you know when he gets to my body, and then everybody else is like, my body.
You're a performer, that's right. You love it.
That's true.
For the audience. Okay.
You?
I haven't really done it, but I think in terms of songs I actually know, it'll probably be a rap song, Drop It Like It's Hot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favourites. Crit Walking and everything.
Yo, Sam, honestly, man, it's been so good having you
amazing.
on the pod, bro.
100%.
Any last messages to the camera, to the people? Anything you want to get out there, bro?
Again, I just want everyone to know that, you know, they're not alone. Okay, stepping one foot in front of the other, day in, day out, whether that's making your bed early in the morning and that being enough, or even going out on a walk, that's more than enough. Don't feel like you have to, you know, push yourself every single day and live up to the standards that people are living at. You see a lot of the time on Instagram, people living these amazing lifestyles. You know, everyone's got a different journey. Follow yours, trust yourself, have faith, you know, stay with your family and friends, love your family and friends, and just keep going. That's it.
I love it, man. Wise words, you know.
It's been a pleasure having you on. Really appreciate it.
Love to have you on, bro.
Really
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, that's another episode of the Sports Afterparty podcast.
Yes, sir. Hey, like, subscribe, follow. That's the Sports Afterparty, guys.
Welcome to the party.
Let's get it.
I'm a different type of rock star. I got class and I got Henny overflowing up my shot glass. And yeah, I know I'm not a keeper, but can you be my mama seater by the time I'm done with